Alrighty, well, hello everyone. My name is Chris Zach. I am the guy with two first names out here in a little village in California called San Diego. So I hope you are well. You continue to be well. I am excited to teach today. I teach two classes every single month in the Real Academy, Facebook Ads 101, and then today you are attending Facebook Ads 201. So before we do start, I do want to let you know this is kind of a continuation class. So if you have not attended Facebook Ads 101, I'd recommend you attend that class first. However, if you've done Facebook ads in the past or you have some familiarity with Facebook ads, this is a great class for you today as well, though. So with that being said, if anyone wants a replay, feel free to send your email address over in chat, and I would be more than happy to send it over to you. So let's get into topic and a little bit about me. So I promise I won't bore you with my life story, but I think some context always really, really helps. So I've been on this side of the wall for 18 years and 2 months. So real estate marketing, that's been my bread and butter. I work for a lot of different real estate startup companies. I am not a real estate agent though. So I've worked with real estate agents, online lead generation. That's been kind of my bread and butter for years. And I own and operate a company out here in San Diego called Chris Zach Interact. So as I mentioned, we've been teaching in the Real Academy for I think 7 years or so. There was only 1,000 agents with Real when I started teaching. So I love, love, love to see the growth with Real. I drink your Kool-Aid. I drink your collaboration. I refer a lot of agents over to Real as well. But yeah, our company, we do Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads for real estate agents. And then another big part of our business is we also help agents integrate tech into their business. So, Chris, I have a CRM. None of my systems talk to each other. Chris, I'm lost on the tech side. Can I schedule a time with you and your company to basically review and help me build my systems? Yes, I would love to do that. The only reason I talk about this is not for one big sales pitch, but we work with a lot of agents that do online lead generation. If you do not have your systems dialed in, you're going to spend a lot of money on leads and your conversion rate is going to be really, really low. So if there's anything to do we can do to help, please let us know. But otherwise, let's dive into the topics here. Thanks for everyone for signing in. See a couple others signing in as well. So a couple things. I would love to know, why are you attending this training here today? Is there something in particular, like Chris, on the last training you talked about this? Is there anything in particular you're hoping to get out of this meeting here today? I always like to start with that because if you do have any questions, I want to make sure we get those answered here today for you. Any questions? Any comments? Why are you attending here today? Anyone want to share? If not, we will just dive right in here. Yes, this is being recorded. So if you do want me to send you the recording afterwards, just send your email address. I got one of you said you wanted the replay of Facebook Ads 101. Perfect. Thank you. I will send you the replay and then just a refresher. I love that. So feel free to chime in if you have any questions at all. Uh, let's get into the topics itself here today. So, you want to start using Facebook ads, but don't know how to funnel it. I love that. Kathy, if you could maybe summarize or highlight a little bit more about that. Are you trying to generate listings? Are you trying to generate more buyer leads? Are you trying to just stay top of mind? Is there a specific niche? So buyer leads. Okay, perfect. Kathy, I would strongly recommend you attend. Okay, so the Latino side, I love that. I'm here in San Diego and I run a couple ads for agents actually in Spanish. I am baffled that more agents do not do that, but I would strongly recommend that. So that's really, really good. Kathy, where are you located out of? Here in San Diego, for example, we target obviously people in San Diego, but we target people in Tijuana. We target people in LA, Riverside. If you want to share the area or location you're in, I can also give you some ideas where to show these existing ads. So Bellingham, Washington, perfect. Yeah, I mean you've got plenty to eat there in Bellingham, so I mean you could just target a lot of your ads locally, but also anywhere in Southern California, Northern California. I would do Idaho, as well. Northern California, the Bay Area. But that's really, really good. So good stuff. Thanks for sharing. So a couple topics that we're going to cover here today. So on Facebook Ads 101, we covered how to create an ad from start to finish. Today, we're going to dive into some more advanced type of targeting. So, for those of you who have ever shopped online and then all of a sudden, that particular company follows you around the internet, I'm going to teach you how to do that and be a savage online with that type of an approach. So, we're going to dive into retargeting, retargeting. I'm going to show you how to choose an audience within the ads. We're going to talk about custom audiences. We're going to get into some best practices, and then I'm going to talk about pixels, and then we're going to talk money. What do you need to spend? How much should you be spending with your ads to really get conversions? So let's dive into the retargeting side. So you're all familiar with retargeting, whether you know it or not. So what retargeting is in its most simple form, do you know when you go on Amazon and you shop for a black pair of Nikes and then all of a sudden those Nikes start to follow you around the internet? That's in its most simple form what is retargeting. So retargeting can be a way of you basically staying top of mind and you staying in front of consumers on the internet. Um, and basically, every single e-commerce website, almost any website you visit today, you're going to notice that you're getting retargeted as soon as you visit their website. You'll notice also in the last few years this big pop up anytime you visit a website. And if you have Lofty, the same type of pop up comes up on your website. This site uses cookies to enhance your browsing experience and deliver our information and services. By using this site, you accept our use of cookies. That's a really fancy way of saying, Kathy, if you come to my website, I'm going to stock you online and I'm going to market to you. So, really, really important to know kind of retargeting and how to do it. The other thing, too, we'll cover today, I do not want you to be that annoying realtor that just shows the same ad over and over and over. We all know that one person online, you keep seeing their ad, you're like, God, why won't Chris go away? So this can also be a negative if you don't know what you're doing on the retargeting side of things. Retargeting helps with visitor interaction. So if you think about it from an e-commerce standpoint, those clothing companies, they know if they show you that same ad 8 times, at some point you're going to be vulnerable and you're going to purchase that pair of leggings, that shoes, that sweatshirt. So it helps with visitor interaction. It obviously tracks people and their consumers and what they're doing online, but it gives you the opportunity to do ads and show specific ads to them. And then most importantly, this is really the most important one, is it encourages conversions. That's a fancy way of saying turn that lead into a conversation. I want you guys to convert more of your internet leads, and what we're talking about today is going to really, really help with that. So yes, we're going to talk about generating leads on Facebook, but today we're going to spend a lot of time talking about those leads that you already have, your past clients, those people who are coming to your website right now and they haven't yet registered. How do you get those people to come back to your website and to stay top of mind? Um, I always think of retargeting as a fancy way of just doing old school top of mind marketing. So some of you listening to this, you've been in the game long enough to bench ads, grocery cart ads, billboards. Think of retargeting as digital billboards. That's what retargeting can do. Um, the other thing, as I mentioned, is this pushes people further down your funnel. I'm going to use a Foot Locker analogy a lot today. And I want you guys to just humor me with this analogy, but it really helps, I think, understand kind of the nature of the beast. So let's say today I went to footlocker.com and I shop for a black pair of Nikes, size 12. Next time I go on Facebook, I'm seeing another pair of Nikes pop up. I go to Instagram, I'm seeing a different Nike, shoe pop up. So what it does is it keeps people engaged to see specific ads wherever they're at online. What if you could strategically do that on your real estate website in your real estate marketing? So someone goes to Kathy's website and they're looking at for a house in Bellingham, and then all of a sudden today is Thursday and they see an ad for an open house. View this open house this weekend in Bellingham, right? Now you're pushing me further down the funnel. If I'm serious and I'm like to that point where I'm like, hey, I'm actually ready to go out and look at houses, I'm going to click on that ad. So it pushes people further down in your funnel. Real quick, just want to get a temperature gauge. Are you guys following me along so far? Any questions, comments, concerns in regards to anything on the retargeting end? A couple of more of you guys have signed on. Thank you for joining. This is being recorded. If anyone wants the replay, feel free to send your email and chat, and I will send the replay as soon as we wrap up today. Otherwise, any questions? Perfect. Thank you, Clinton. I will send that to you as well. Any other questions? All right. So, how does all of this kind of the tech side of things work? Got that as well, Laura. Thank you. How does this work from the technical side of things? So I'm going to push the glasses to kind of the roof of my nose, and I'm going to be a nerd here for a few minutes, guys. Bear with me. I promise I'll land the plane. But I'm going to talk nerd talk here for the next like 5 minutes. So a pixel. What is a pixel? So back to my Foot Locker analogy. Think of a pixel as a door chime. So back to my Foot Locker analogy. Someone walks into Foot Locker, ding, door chime goes off because you entered my store. Think of a pixel as basically a digital door chime. So you're going to install something on your website, a door chime. When people walk into your store or they come to your real estate website, when they go to kathysim.com, then they see exactly it is what you're doing. Or I'm sorry, you can see exactly what it is that they're doing. So we need to install this door chime on your website. Now, everyone listening to this, do you guys all use Lofty? Is there anyone who doesn't have a Lofty website? And if so, what website company or provider do you use? Otherwise, I'm going to send in chat how to install this on a Lofty website. Anyone not use Lofty? All right, perfect. So, as I mentioned, a pixel, it is a snippet of website code that you're going to install on your website. So it is a door chime you're going to install into Lofty. You only need to install it once, which is great. But once it's installed, then you can track what consumers are doing. Whether they come to your site and register or they look at 7 houses and then they're gone, this pixel allows you to track exactly what it is that they're doing. So we need to do this once. So just to recap on Facebook Ads 101, I got you guys set up, and hopefully all of you have set up your business manager. Excuse me. So you're going to go to business.facebook.com. You only need to do this once, but you're going to create a pixel. You're going to create and install a door chime. All right. So once you go to business.facebook, you're going to click, they call it the hamburger, these 3 little lines. You're going to click business settings, and then you should see something that says events manager. Events manager. Okay. Now, events manager is going to be this door chime. So, what you're going to do is you're going to need to connect a new data source. So, you're going to click this big green button for connect a new data source, and you're going to install it on a website. You're going to install it on web. All right. So, when you install it on web, here's what's going to happen. Um, I'll answer that question in just a minute. I got a question about different pixels. So you're going to install it on your website, and what you're going to do is you're going to name this. So you need to name your door chime. So for me, my website is chriszacinteract.com. I'm the guy with 2 first names, so you guys can never forget me, hopefully. You're going to put your website, you're going to put your name of your real estate company. If you have multiple businesses, maybe you've got, you sell clothing, maybe you've got, an insurance company. I would create a separate one for each business. But from a real estate agent standpoint, you only need one pixel for your real estate website. You only need one. So I'm going to name that. And then I need to put in my website URL, chriszacinteract.com. Now you'll notice for me, when I put that in, I get a little green checkbox. You guys should get a red stop. You guys should get a red stop sign that pops up. And so really, really important there. All right. So you're going to put in your website. And when you do, Facebook's basically going to go to your site and say, hey, does Kathy have this door chime installed yet? And if you do have a green checkbox, that means you've already got a pixel installed on your site. I'm assuming most of you do not. So you should see a little red mark or little red stop sign right here. So you're going to have to do this once, and I'm almost done being a nerd, guys. Then I'm going to become cool again. So what you're going to do, you're going to need to install this code onto your website. So you can either manually add this pixel or you can check for partners. Lofty is a partner, so if you do type in partners, you should see Lofty there. But otherwise, you're going to install this code manually. You would copy and paste this code. You're going to do that once into your Lofty website. Just to remind you guys, I did send a link of step-by-step instructions of how to do it. This step takes you 30 seconds. I would encourage you once you get off here today, get this out of the way and taken care of so you never have to do this again on your site. All right. So I'm done being a nerd, guys. What questions do we have? Did I completely lose you guys? Are you guys banging your head against your computers? Anyone give me a thumbs up in chat if we're good? All right, perfect. No comments means hopefully no questions. So, all right. So let's assume now you've got your Pixel installed on the website. What do you do now? So I've got my door chime, Chris. Now I need to know who's going into my store and what they're looking at. So door chime is basically, hey, we're going to start collecting some data here today. Um, yeah, so Clinton, I'll email you the replay. Just let me read this question here real quick. Clinton, you're not going to get on the phone with Meta. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But what I would encourage you to do if you want, Clinton, feel free to shoot me an email with any screenshots or anything like that. I'm going to put my email address here in chat. You're not going to get an answer from them, though. No offense. It'll be really, really tough. You can maybe talk to them via Facebook Messenger, but your time's better off spent just shooting me an email, and I can take a look at it and let you know where maybe you're getting stuck. Not a problem. All right, so assuming we've got the pixel installed on the site, now we need to create audiences. All right, so we're going to talk about now custom audiences. So I need to kind of use another analogy for you guys. You guys do a lot of farming online, right? Or I should say farming out in the community. Some of you are doing, farming in specific zip codes. So Kathy, she told me she was in Bellingham, Washington. There's a couple zip codes or maybe one or two zip codes within Bellingham. That's a specific, what they call as a custom audience. So when I say custom audience, I want you guys to think of a farm list. Now, today we can talk about 50 different custom audiences. For most real estate agents, you guys typically market yourselves in like 3 or 4 cities or neighborhoods or areas, right? With custom audiences, I want you to go back to my Foot Locker analogy. Foot Locker, they've got Nike, they've got Under Armour, they've got Reebok, right? They've got all of these brands. Each one of those is going to be a separate custom audience. Now on Foot Locker, they also have t-shirts. They also have shoes. They also have, pants or athletic wear. So if you think about it, for someone like Foot Locker, they might have 3, 4,000 custom audiences on their website. You on your real estate websites, you guys typically have 15 or 20 pages on your website. So I want you guys to think about those all as separate custom audiences. Does anyone want to be my guinea pig here today? And I'll use your website as a, kind of an example, but visually this usually helps a lot of agents. Does anyone wants to send your website over in chat? I'll go to your website and kind of give you some feedback as far as what I see and what custom audiences that you should be creating. Anyone? Does anyone want to share their website? If not, that's okay. I won't take it personal, but sometimes agents find it helpful if I do. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to go to Clinton's website here. This is not your fault here. I've got a VPN turned on and they always block certain websites. So let me just refresh your website. All right, can you guys all see I'm on Clinton's website here? Okay, so go to coloradovistas.com. So I'm going to do that. All right, perfect. All right, so a couple things I want you guys to notice. Can someone in chat just let me know you guys see Clinton's website right now? You guys can still see my screen? Just want to make sure. Perfect. Thank you, Gary. So you'll notice right away, I get this your privacy, your choice, right? I told you guys on every website you go to, this is basically Clinton saying, Chris, if you click accept, I'm going to start to market to you. I'm going to, track what you're doing on my website. So I'm going to hit accept all cookies. From this point forward, Clinton would be able to know everything I do on his website. So if I look at Clinton's website, I've got his homepage, covistas.com. It looks like he's got three different pages for buyers. So he's got all listings. I'm assuming that's, an MLS search. He's got featured listings, which I'm sure are his listings. And then he's got sold listings as well. So if I'm Clinton, I'm going to create right there. That's four custom audiences: homepage, all listings, featured listings, and sold listings. Back to Foot Locker. This is Adidas. This is Under Armour. This is clothing. You guys tracking with me so far? So, what you're going to do is you're going to create a custom audience for each of these pages on your website. As I mentioned, most real estate agents, they've got, 10, 15 pages on their website. Clinton, just real quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Clinton has 11 pages. So Clinton's going to have to do this next part 11 times. But once he does, he's going to know every single time anyone does something on his website. So getting back to kind of my slideshow here, we're going to want to create a custom audience for him. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit how to create custom audiences. We're going to go into the audiences section. To get there, what you guys would do is you would log into your business.facebook.com. You're going to click audiences at the top. All right. And then from there, you're going to see we can create a audience and we can create a custom audience. So Clinton only needs to do this once. All right. So we're going to hit custom audience. Now there's a bunch. I told you guys there's, 50 or 100 different custom audiences we could go through. I'm not going to bore you guys with going through all 50 today. But I am going to show you a couple that I'd recommend. So the first one is obviously website. You want to know anyone who goes to your website and who goes to specific pages on your site. So what Clinton would do is he would click on website. And then on the next screen, he would put in the specific page for his website. So for Clinton, every one of your pages on your website, covistas.com/buyers. That's one page. I want to know anyone who goes to that page. Why would Clinton want to know that? He wants to know and he needs to know anyone who's a buyer who comes to his website. So he can show them specific, things related to buyers. And I'll show you guys some examples of some good ads for that type of niche. So what he's going to do is he's going to say, hey, I want to select people who go to this specific page on my website. And then I want to track these consumers for 6 months. 180 days is the longest you can do it. All right. And then Clinton would copy and paste the exact page on his website. So Clinton, if I go to your buy page, for example, that would be cosvistas.com/listings. And I just sent it in chat here, but that would be anyone who goes to his buy page and takes a look at all listings. So really powerful. From this point forward, that door chime is not only going to track me when I come into his store, but if I click on his page for buyers, now Clinton knows, oh, Chris is a potential buyer for me. And now he can show me ads based on that. So I know this is a little bit of nerd talk, but can you guys just send in chat? Do I need to go over this again? Are you guys following along so far? I had a bold roast coffee today, so bear with me, but are you guys tracking so far? Beautiful. Thank you guys. I always want to make sure I'm going at a good pace where you guys can follow along, but don't want to drag it along as well if you guys are good. So Clinton's going to have to do this exact same step 11 times, and then he would name it. So he's going to name this audience, Clinton, all buyers. That's, for his website. Then he can show ads specifically to those people, which would be really, really powerful. So he's got that. So as I mentioned, kind of my Foot Locker analogy, guys, I'd recommend you guys do that for every page that you have on your website. Some of you with Lofty, you have like neighborhood or city pages. So I would encourage you to do it for neighborhoods as well. Anytime you get a new listing in Bellingham, for example, Kathy, you could tell Facebook, show my new listing to anyone who's visited my Bellingham page. So you can really target specific consumers with these ads. All right, so that's the website visitor side of things. Now, with custom audiences, they have a lot of other kind of options that you can do. So we talked about farming. You guys as real estate agents, you guys can buy leads from Zillow, right? That's a custom audience. And I'm using these as kind of analogies, but there's a lot of different custom audiences that you have in your business. Your past clients, that's a custom audience. Anyone who visits your Facebook or Instagram page, that's a custom audience. So I don't know if any of you guys are doing a lot on social media, especially with your business page or your business account, but you could target ads to people who have visited your page. Whether they like or follow you doesn't matter. If anyone's ever went and checked out Kathy's Instagram page, she could do ads and say, "Hey, Facebook, show this ad to anyone who's visited my Instagram page in the last year." She could do that. So, a couple other custom audiences I'm going to kind of cover here today for you guys. And the next one is, so these are all of the options. As I mentioned, I'm not going to go through every one of these, but for those of you who want to take notes, these are all of the kind of the different options that you can have. For all of our clients, we do all of this for them. We set up all the custom audiences as soon as we launch your ads. But if you are running your own ads, or even if you're not running ads, but you're like, Chris, I just want to start tracking people today, I would encourage you to set up these custom audiences. So, next one we're going to do is Instagram and Facebook. Now, I keep saying Facebook today. Meta, they own Facebook and Instagram. And so when I say that, they're kind of one and the same. But let's go ahead and we're going to choose Instagram. And this is, we're going to target anyone who's visited my Facebook page. And I want to target anyone who's ever engaged with my page. If you visited me on Facebook in the last year, I want to target you. Now, that's the cool thing with Facebook and Instagram. You can actually go back a year. So anyone who's visited my site or my Instagram, I'm sorry, in the last, 12 months, I can show them a specific ad. So you can do this for Facebook, you can do this for Instagram. And then I would label that audience anyone who's engaged with my Facebook page the last 365 days. So so we've talked about website custom audiences. We've talked about Facebook and Instagram custom audiences as well. There's just a few other I want to target and highlight, and the biggest one is customer list. Who here has done a lot of lead generation in their day, or who here has more than, let's say, 1,000 leads in their CRM right now? Anyone? Anyone paying for lead generation right now? Yes and yes. So Clinton, what I would encourage you to do is go into your Lofty, download all of your leads, and then I would upload it to Facebook. Hey, these are all my leads that I currently have in Lofty. One thing agents are always baffled of when they start working with us is they're like, Chris, how come you're not talking as much about like new leads, new leads, new leads? Because someone like Clinton, you've got thousands of leads already in your CRM. Maybe you haven't converted every single one of them, but you paid for that lead last year. That's still a lead. That's still an opportunity to have a conversation. So if I'm Clinton, I would tell Facebook, hey, here's a list of all my leads from Lofty. Any agents who do any farming, any agents who do, maybe you've got a list from escrow of homeowners that are most likely to sell. You could show a Facebook ad to potential sellers. The other thing is, we're coming up on the holidays. I've got a lot of clients that do custom, they do, holiday parties, Christmas parties, pie giveaways. You could, if you wanted to, You could record a video. Hey, this is Chris. Come meet me in the Costco parking lot next Friday at this time and this day. We're doing a free pie giveaway. You could tell Facebook, show that video ad or show that ad to just my past clients. So I've got a lot of agents that use this for farming. I've got a lot of agents that use customer list to keep in front of or get in front of their old leads. But it's also a way for you to stay top of mind with, your past clients or your sphere of influence. So you can really, really get a sniper rifle out if you want to and show specific ads to a lot of these people. So for those of you guys taking notes, this is a one I would take a screenshot of if I were you. I'll even smile for the camera if you want. But these are custom audiences. So you've got website. We've covered the customer list. Really good for sellers, past clients. If you've got an old lead database, and if this is over your head, guys, and you're like, Chris, can I just hire you guys to handle it for me? We definitely can. Or if you're like, Chris, my Facebook account is a mess. Can you take a look, for me? We can definitely do that as well. But that's the custom audience side of things. This is a pain in the butt to do. Full transparency. Someone like Clinton, it would take Clinton probably 10, 15 minutes right now after we get off today to go and set up all of these custom audiences. But once he has them, he can start using them. And so think about that. That's really, really powerful. Really powerful. So I'm just going to pause here real quick, guys. We've gone over how to install the door chime on your website. We've gone over the different type of custom audiences. Now I want to show you guys how to create ads to show to this specific list. But before I do, any questions before I move on? And this is the time I also remind you guys this is being recorded. So if you do want the replay, send over your email and chat. But otherwise, I'm going to keep going. All right, perfect. Thanks for the feedback. So you've got the pixel installed, you've got your custom audiences set up. What do you do now? So we're going to create an ad. Now I'm going to fly through this next section on purpose, just because we've already covered this on the first Facebook ads one-on-one training. So I'm not going to go step by step of how to create an ad, but what we're going to do, we're going to create a new ad and we're going to do it for traffic. Traffic is how I do retargeting all day, every single day. I do traffic ads. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new ad for traffic. And then I need to choose an audience for this particular ad. And so now you'll notice on all of my custom audiences, I've got a laundry list of every custom audience that I've set up. So you guys will notice for me on my website, every page that I have, I've got a custom audience. I've got a list of anyone who's, ever worked with us. I've got a custom audience for anyone who's ever engaged with me on Facebook or Instagram. So now I'm telling Facebook, hey, they came to my Foot Locker website and they looked at Nikes. Can we now show them more Nikes? So this is where you're going to choose that specific audience. So you would click, hey, I want to show this to anyone who's a buyer who's visited my page. Or Kathy, this is where you would say, hey, anyone who's visited my Bellingham page, I want to show them my new listing in Bellingham. Some good examples of some retargeting ads. Um, just listed, just sold, open house ads. Those do really well. Just listed, obviously, that's really good for buyers. Just sold, that's really good for potential sellers. Also to show to your past clients, stay top of mind. Open house ads, that's really good for buyers and, retargeting and staying in front of leads that are currently in your database. So if you've got 10,000 leads or 5,000 leads in Lofty right now, and you got an open house, show that open house to that specific list of people. We also do a lot of ads for like specific niches. So I'm here in San Diego. We could do golf course property, we could do oceanfront, we could do houses in a certain price point. Click here to view all homes between, 800 and 1.2 million. I could do specific areas or cities. I could do if I focus on vacation rentals. Whatever it is that you focus on, if you're in Texas and you've got a lot of equestrian property, maybe you're in an area where you're like, Chris, People are looking for acreage, houses on, at least 5 acres. So these are just some good examples of some good ads that we put out as far as retargeting. And back to my Foot Locker analogy, if they come and they looked at a house in Spring Hill, and then the next time they go to the Facebook or Instagram, they're seeing an ad, click here to search all homes in Spring Hill, they're going to click on that ad, they're going to re-engage, they're going to come back to your website. So, and then video, I'm a big fan of video. If you've never been to San Diego, I strongly recommend it. Check out an area here called La Jolla, or as the locals call it, La Jolla. Try our Mexican food. We have sunshine, no bugs, and no humidity. But I'm big on video. I'm really, really big on video. Um, so those are just a couple examples, of the ads. For those of you taking notes or screenshots, this is another one you want to take a snapshot of. Example topics, as I mentioned, just listed, just sold, open houses, a niche for your area, ads by price point or area features. Really, really important. And then just visually a couple examples for you guys again. So really good stuff. Back to my Foot Locker analogy, e-commerce, they have to show you an ad 8 times before you pull the trigger. Now, real estate, obviously, that's a different beast. Um, and so with real estate, you obviously want to stay top of mind, but you also want to show people that you're actually doing business. Maybe a show of hands in chat. How many of you have ever seen like that same business owner? You go on Facebook and you watch one of their videos, and then for the next month, all you're seeing is their content. We've all probably seen someone who's really good at that, and we've also seen someone who's really bad at that part too. So you want to stay in front of them and you want to, be specific, but you don't want to be annoying as well. So couple best practices I recommend. The annoying one. This is a really, really important one. Um, Yeah, there's a State Farm agent that drives me nuts online. Talk about retargeting. Right. If he was good, he would mix up that ad, right? Instead of just, hey, I'm Jake from State Farm. Maybe he shows you price comparisons. 2 weeks later, you see another ad that talks about the average person saves $27 with State Farm. Like if he rotated it a little bit, you'd probably be like, that guy's pretty good. Clinton stays top of mind. So you got to be strategic with it because, like you said, you can also be the annoying realtor. So frequency score. This is the annoying button. So frequency, you want to keep this between 4 and 7. So when you start running retargeting ads, you want to pay attention to this. You do not want to show people. And if I look at that State Farm agent, his frequency score, it's probably 20 or 30. You've probably seen that ad way more than you realize. But yeah, it's annoying. So between 4 and 8 times is kind of the sweet spot. That's what I always recommend for clients. So if you think about it, show them that one ad between 4 and 8 times before you rotate to the next. That's effective. Anything more, you get kind of into that annoying stage. You want to pay attention to your cost per click. This is my favorite stat for anyone who does Zillow leads. I had a client I talked to the other day in Orange County here in California. He pays $1,200 per one Zillow lead. And I said, hey, would you pay 30 or 40 cents to get that Zillow lead back to the site? He kind of chuckled, and I'm like, you need to be doing retargeting. So with retargeting, I tell my clients to focus between like 20 and 50 cents a click. 20 and 50 cents a click. So Clinton, you said that you've got a bunch of leads in your database. Would you pay 30 to 50 cents to get that lead that's currently sitting in Lofty? Maybe you haven't called them in 12 months. Would you pay 30, 40 cents to get that consumer back to the site? That's what retargeting does. And this isn't made up numbers, guys. These are kind of some highlights of, some of our clients. We have a client that gave us a database of 10,000 leads. We've gotten 1,900 of those leads back to his site for 21 cents. So he's like, Chris, I'm spending a couple $100 for one lead, and you're getting all these people back to my site. His conversion rate starts to go through the roof. those people that he thought were dead leads are all of a sudden coming back to the website. So it does a really good job of getting consumers back to the site. Um, and so it's important when you do retargeting and you're strategic with it, it can be a very, very good tool for you. For myself, Gary V, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, a couple like podcasts I follow, they do a really good job with this. I'm constantly just being fed new clips, new ads, new promotions constantly. And it's not the same ad over and over and over, but they're very strategic with it. So once you know that audience, you want to be specific. Experiment with segmentation. That's a really big word for me to say. What does that mean? Maybe you run an ad for area today. Search all homes in Bellingham. Next week it's view all open houses in Bellingham. The next week, search all homes in Bellingham between 5 and 700,000. So you can customize it and really experiment with segmentation, but it's really, really important there. Now, I say regularly update your audiences. You only need to really update one audience, which is your website leads. So, Clinton, I don't know how many leads you're generating every month, but I usually recommend if you're generating like, 300 leads a month, I'd recommend you update that audience every probably 3 to 6 months. But most of you, you only have to update your audience maybe once a year. But aside from that, once you install and create those audiences today, you're just tracking who those people are. And then, as I mentioned, leverage the analytics. Don't be the annoying realtor. Don't be the annoying realtor. All right. What to spend. This is my favorite part. I love talking money with realtors because every one of you have a bottomless budget, right? But no, what I kind of recommend for agents, if you are spending marketing dollars, 80% of your budget should be spent on new leads, new leads, new leads. 20% should be spent on retargeting. So agents are always baffled because sometimes I have agents that they sign on with us and they're like, Chris, what do you recommend my marketing budget? And I'm like, Clinton, you've got 10,000 leads in your database. Your marketing budget should be 100% on retargeting. That's it. Do retargeting for the next 90 days. Some of you, you're brand new to the business. So I'm going to tell you, you need to just focus on, new, new, new. So it really depends, but my general rule of thumb is 80% of your marketing budget should be new leads and 20% on retargeting. So that is Facebook Ads 201. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. As I mentioned, we did record this, so if anyone wants the replay, send me a chat. If you're like Chris, I would prefer to just hire a company like you to do it. Scan that QR code. We only do real estate marketing and lead generation. That's our bread and butter. So we're always sharing different tips and different ads that we're running on social media. Follow us on social. And then the last thing, guys, we do a a bi-monthly newsletter where we're just showing you guys as agents. We just did a newsletter recently about how to generate more Google reviews. So if you want, sign up for our newsletter. If you enjoy my style of teaching, if you do sign up for the newsletter, just make sure you confirm your email address. Otherwise, you won't get any of our communication. And as always, guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. I teach 2 classes every month, Facebook Ads 101 and then Facebook Ads 201. I hope this was helpful, and I'm going to hang out for a couple minutes, guys, and answer any questions. But otherwise, if I don't hear from you, thanks for attending. Hope you have a great, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Clinton. I look forward to it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, give me about a half hour and I'll send out the replay as soon as I get it uploaded to YouTube. And if you have any other questions for me, you let me know. But otherwise, thanks for attending and we'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Thank you.